Welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring tools and resources to help us through our journey. The podcast is divided into 3 sections. First is a reading. Second is a discussion of the reading, followed by a journal prompt. And the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining. Thanks for being here for another day of reparenting. Today we're continuing with 48 Laws of Power. This is Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Judgment. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. Sometimes they have learned this the hard way. If one ember is left alight, no matter how dimly it smolders, a fire will eventually break out. More is lost through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and will seek revenge. Crush him, not only in body but in spirit. Transgression of the law. No rivalry between leaders is more celebrated in Chinese history than the struggles between Xiang Hu and Liu Peng. These two generals began their careers as friends, fighting on the same side. Xiang Yu came from the nobility, large and powerful, given to bouts of violence and temper. A bit of dull-witted, he was yet a mighty warrior who always fought at the head of his troops. Liu Peng came from peasant stock. He had never been much of a soldier and preferred women and wine to fighting. In fact, he was something of a scoundrel, but he was wily, and he had the ability to recognize the best strategies. Keep them as his advisors and listen to their advice. He had risen in the army through these strengths. In 2008 BC, the king of Chu sent 2 massive armies to conquer the powerful kingdom of Qin. One army went north under the generalship of Seng Yi, with Xiang Yu in second command. The other, led by Liu Peng, headed straight towards Qin. The target was the kingdom's splendid capital, Xianyang, and Xiang Yu, ever violent and impatient, couldn't stand the idea that Liu Peng would get to Xianyang first and perhaps would assume command of the entire army. At one point of the northern front, Xiang's commander, Seng Yi, hesitated in sending his troops into the battle. Furious, Xiang entered Seng Yi's tent, proclaimed him a traitor, and cut off his head, and assumed some command of the army. Without waiting for orders, he left the north front and marched directly on Xianyang. He felt certain he was a better soldier. He felt certain he was a better soldier and general than Liu. But to his utter astonishment, his rival, leading a smaller, swifter army, managed to reach Xiang first. Xiang had an advisor, Fang Zhen, who warned him. The village headman used to be greedy only for riches and women, but since entering the capital he has not been led astray by wealth, wine, or sex. That shows he is aiming high. Thank you, and that's the reading from today. Welcome back. Thanks for being here for another day of refathering, I would say, with Robert Greene. Crush your enemy totally. Law 15. This one is quite controversial. It is the law of how this a narcissistic world functions. When I see narcissistic world, I mean the world in which the culture leads narcissists and people who embrace this ideology towards success and dominance and power. And so it's important to be aware of this and to be aware that people operate in this manner, to be aware of who you are dealing with and how far some people who are in this power game will go. It's good to have awareness of this and control over your actions and your ability to keep yourself safe. And so today, let's reflect on power and this Law 15. Do you know any people who take this extreme vengeance on people who you have witnessed relish their holding on, they're clinging on to resentments or hate or rage or all kinds of negative emotion that are then blamed on other people? Someone who is seeking power is going to use this Law 15, and it cannot be physically crushed or destroyed, as in the reading of the example, but it can also be emotionally or spiritually or financially. And so today, reflect on that and how you can keep yourself safe from these kind of people. And also just so you can be aware of these dynamics going on around you and how you can better manage situations because of the awareness of how certain people might be playing the game. As always, thank you for being here. Take some time for yourself and be well. And now, let us move on to the final section, the meditation. This is an unguided meditation. I will simply provide some music and you can take some time to relax. Please feel free to choose a location and a place where you feel safe and where you can be undisturbed for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting down, standing, as you like, wherever you are most comfortable. Thank you for being here and enjoy the meditation.